All right. Welcome back, everybody. It is Joe, aka the Nomad Investor, where dividends, freedom anywhere is the goal. And today we are going to be going over a portfolio update, and I'm going to be sharing with you what the heck just happened because we got wrecked in the market on Friday. Today is Saturday, October 11th, and my goodness, my portfolio took a beating, and I know everyone else's did too because let's be real, all positions right now in the market are in the red. So with that being said, let's get into things. So this is my channel. If you guys haven't already, if you could give this video a thumbs up, also subscribe and comment down below at the end of this video or anytime in the video where you have something to say, that'd be lovely. And then yeah, this is my channel. I just want to give a shout out. We finally got to 14 subscribers the other day. I have done over 7 videos so far and will continue to do more. So, with that being said, let's get into things. All right, as always, I do have to give this disclaimer. The videos on this channel are for informational, entertainment, and educational purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor or professional, and nothing here should be taken as financial, investment, or tax advice. Investing always carries risk, and those seeking financial advice should seek out a registered professional. Okay? With that being said, we will get into the game plan and goal. And I'm just covering this real briefly so you guys can understand. But basically, this is how I'm growing a small portfolio from zero to $1,000 a month in dividend income. And the way that I'm able to do this is pretty simple. I have two sources of income: remote work income and business income. And with that income, I am committing at minimum of $300 a month towards this portfolio, or possibly more. And what I'm doing is I'm taking that income, I'm taking that money, and I'm depositing it into a Robinhood taxable brokerage. And I'm treating that brokerage like a business and aiming for a 30% plus high yield, right? So I'm taking that money in Robinhood and investing it into high yield income ETFs like WPay, HOW, QDTE, XETE, XPay, BTCI, etc. And I'm trying to keep basically a max of 3 positions. And I'm going to be alternating between positions, basically between anchors and satellite ETFs. And then what I'm going to be doing with the money that the dividends that I get paid out from here is I'm going to be reinvesting the weekly and monthly dividends into the underlying positions, or I'll stack the dividends to purchase more when the market is down, like yesterday was. And so the goal or the strategy, the growth strategy of this portfolio is drip plus always compounding, right? And at the end, I'm basically just going to keep rinse and repeating this until the account hits $1,000 a month in dividend. And again, none of this is financial advice, strictly for entertainment purposes. And last, but definitely not least, I'm just going to briefly share this with you guys who may potentially be new here. These are my income goals, my income milestones that I have along the way. And right now we are on track to hit the $100 a month plus. And this is just so I can celebrate small wins leading up to the bigger goal along the way. Okay. So with that being said, let's go over to the portfolio. As you guys can see, this is the current state of affairs. We are down 4.94% and $205 in the negative. Ouch, that really hurts so badly, guys. But nonetheless, you have seen that my portfolio has increased in value since the last time I did a portfolio update. And here's the reason why. So my buying power is $5,455, and that's because I have $1,303.34 in cash. And because of that, my margin total has increased in value. Now, this is great because before, I think my margin was around 2,400 or like 1,900 after I used some, and as you can tell, my margin balance that I owed or that was used did get dropped down to zero. And that's kind of basically the goal. I want to keep it at that as much as possible when I can, when I'm able to. Yeah, we have some buying power that I can deploy. Unfortunately, the markets are going to be closed on Monday, but on Tuesday, I will probably start eyeing certain positions that I want to get more into, but I'll cover that shortly. So that's basically like the cash that I have, the margin total, and just like the total buying power I have in general, right? So as you can see, though, I don't have QDTE anymore. I sold out that position to pay off my margin balance. I think it was like $525 or something like that. And then I made a little bit extra profit. Unfortunately, I did sell it when it was dipping, so that kind of sucked. But I just wasn't loving how much QDT was dumping. It dumped 3.83%. Now, that's not nearly as much as WPay, for instance, which did a 5.65%, or HOOW, which did a 9.92% decline, right? So I guess you could say that QDT would have kind of held on my portfolio, but I was kind of just unsatisfied with it overall and was kind of basically looking for another position to allocate that funds into. But it worked out in my favor because my margin buffer went from 14-15% all the way down to about like 8% on Friday. And so I was like, I'm going to sell my QDTE. That's going to pay off the margin balance. And by doing so, I'm freeing up capital. And technically, it is kind of like a loss in a way, but it is what it is. And then what I ended up doing was I deposited this $1,300. And you do see $3.34. It's actually because QDTE paid me a dividend. So it paid me $3.34 on Friday, October 10th. And that was around, and just to be clear, I was pretty happy with this. They were paying consistent 20 cents a share. So that was really nice. And they did pay me off of the 16.36 shares that I had. But again, just wasn't really overall happy with it. This could change. I could possibly get back into this. It is fairly stable, if you want to call it that. But yeah, that's that for this. And then as you can see, I did increase my WPay position. So I now have 31.410061 shares. So that's looking pretty good. And that makes up now about 62.92% of my portfolio. And I did lower the average cost of my shares to 54.09. Now, as you can see, I did purchase this with margin the other day. And I wish I just kind of just waited and didn't really rush into things. It probably would have been a lot better if I bought it, here on this dip here. Which, yeah, crazy dip, right? But, everything's a lesson to be learned. And we're still looking at a 30% margin, which is nice. So that's good. And again, my market value did increase, but I'm currently down 2.38% total return and negative $40.42 on this position. So as you can see, I kept buying 3 shares. Let's open this up. I bought 3 shares. So I bought a total of 9 shares as we kept getting some dips. Now, unfortunately, when it started dipping more towards here, which is ideal, I would have loved to just basically dump $500 right away into that, if not more, in this position, because that would have really lowered my average significantly, I think. But I was just busy, so I just couldn't get to it. Now let's hop over real quick to the investing journal. I did update this one for you guys so you can kind of see, but this is how the account looked before, and now here is what happened. So for those of you who don't know, basically what happened in the markets is Trump tweeted. He tweeted that he was going to raise tariffs on China. I think it was over 100%, if I remember correctly. And that's insane. I actually think that what's going to happen is he's going to probably retweet kind of what he did last time, where it's like, oh, it's a perfect opportunity to invest in the stock market. Ha, 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 ha. Or invest in crypto, or invest in this, or invest in that, because even Bitcoin's down. Yeah, that's kind of the state of the affairs. And then, I did want to mention, so I did update all these dividends. So now for the month of October, we received $43.70. So we are almost halfway, a little under halfway to our $100 a month goal for this month. And we are only in the second week of October. So I think we've got a great opportunity here, guys. And I'm really excited to see how things pan out. So we shall see that. And then let's hop over to the sheet. So as you can see, I have that $1,300 in cash. We have 32.96% weighting. And then, yeah, this is the position. So market return and, total return. So yeah, we're negative right now in WPay, and it is what it is. There's not really much I can do about this. I'm just going to have to invest come Tuesday. I'll probably invest into this pre-market or I'll probably submit an order for the price that I want to get in at, set a limit order. And then hopefully that goes through. Hopefully that hits, and then we can kind of lower our average cost per share and also increase the number of shares I have here. I think WPay is going to be paying out a really good amount this week. This is the one that already paid out, actually. So declaration will be on Monday, the 13th. So I guess all the shares that I ended up buying will qualify for whatever the next dividend payout would be for WPay. So yeah, we'll see what that is. Hopefully it's above the 73 cents mark, but ultimately, again, if it's over 50 cents, I'm pretty happy. And then if we hop over to the dividend log, as you guys can see, we have $26.61 total earned for HOW, And then for WPay, we've got $16.67. But QDTE is gone. So what I ended up doing is, since it's a sold position, put the total dividends that we've earned for this position over here in the sold positions area. And so for this month, again, $43.70, and for the year, $77.87 earned. Yeah, so that's pretty much the update for the portfolio. And again, that's the reason why the market took such a big dump on all of us. But as you guys can see, I only have two positions right now. So I currently have two things that I'm looking into doing. Number one, purchasing a lot more WPay with the funds that I have here. Maybe not use up all the cash, but use some. Or the alternative is I put only a little bit into WPay and I look for a third position because, like I mentioned in my rules, I'm only keeping a max of three positions, and I'm alternating between the anchors. Anchors meaning like ones that are gonna stand strong in my portfolio. They're gonna hold the portfolio down. Versus satellite ETFs are a lot more risky, like my HOW position, where they are going to fluctuate every single day up and down. Versus anchors are going to be more like chopping sideways or up and to the right or down and to the right a little bit, if ever. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. So if you guys have any ETFs at all you would like me to take a look at, please do let me know in the comment section below. I would love to look for another potential position that I haven't eyed. One thing I will say is I do want to take a quick look at Alti. So I'm not a huge fan of this ETF. I don't really understand why people are so like exhilarated by it. Now, I'm not hating on it, just to be clear, right? I'm open to having my mind changed. But so far, I haven't seen Ulti do anything that made me feel very impressed. Now, I'm wondering, and I'm curious, if you guys are in Ulti, why are you in Ulti? Comment down below. Also, if you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to this channel and you enjoyed and you want to follow along for this journey where I try to reach $1,000 a month in dividend income. So with that being said, until next time, guys, peace.